Hello, hello, and behold, the default workflow for Stable Diffusion and ComfyUI in all its glory. We should all be familiar with it by now. We start with our load checkpoint node, then our positive and negative prompts that the case sampler takes in, along with an empty latent image. It is then decoded and our image is displayed for us right here. We also know that if we remove the empty latent image, add in an encoder, load in an image, and maybe adjust our prompt a little, that our image will affect our prompt and thus affect our final image. But can we have an image just be our prompt? The answer is yes, with StabilityAI's ReVision model. First things first, though, is to make sure you have Stable Diffusion and ComfyUI installed. So those of you that are like me and don't have access to a top-tier GPU, no worries. That's one of the many reasons why I use Compute Grid. I can choose to use someone else's GPU power when I need to, which means regardless of what tools I have at my disposal, it can't stop me from doing what I want. The other reason why I love Compute Grid is that the creators are really passionate about AI and making it accessible for everyone, which is why all the instances have Ollama and Llama 3 pre-installed, which is a type of language learning model similar to ChatGPT, but this is one that you can set up and run in your own terminal to have a private conversation. They have this along with Stable Diffusion, which is what brings us here today. With just one click is all we need, and Compute Grid does all the work for us. It goes ahead and not only installs and runs Stable Diffusion, but also ComfyUI. So all we have to do is just click a link. And ta-da! We are back to viewing the default workflow in all its glory. But the first thing we need to do is install Stability's ReVision model. So to do that, we'll go to our handy-dandy manager to install models, not custom nodes. And we're going to look for clip. And then we just need to get the clip vision model made by StabilityAI. You may recall that clip refers to OpenAI's language learning model, which is traditionally used to pre-process what would have been our positive-negative prompts. ReVision works, though, by using pooled clip embeddings to produce images conceptually similar to the input. To try and put it simply, embeddings are representations of values, like text, images, and audio, that are designed to be consumed by machine learning models. These values are then translated into a mathematical form according to the factors or traits each one may or may not have, which allows the models to find or create similar images. I know, that may have been more information than you needed to know, but I find it fascinating. And that's why we don't need to actually use a prompt if we don't want to. The model learns enough of what it needs from the image or images itself. Well, now that that's installed, all we have to do is just close out and click refresh. And let's also go ahead and clear so we can begin. The first thing we'll need to do is to load in our recently installed model. So we'll go ahead and look for a load clip vision node. Perfect. And if we drag out this edge, we have our options, and we'll be choosing the clip vision encode. This is what will be used to find the embeddings in our image. The image that we can load in using load image. And for this first workflow, I'm going to go ahead and choose just this line art of a girl. The next thing we'll need to do is find a way to control just how much power our image has over the final product. So to do that, we'll go ahead and grab a unclip conditioning. The strength refers to our power, and noise augmentation just controls the variability of the image, but we shouldn't need to mess with that. As you can see, that we also have an input and output of conditioning because this can take in what would have been a positive prompt and actually takes in our positive prompt form image and outputs it to our case sampler. This brings us to our next necessary node. You know her, you love her, it's a checkpoint loader, which will go ahead and connect to our positive prompt, and we'll go ahead and get our negative prompt out of the way as well. While I'm here, I'm just going to change the colors because I like having colors. And I did promise you guys that we wouldn't be using the prompts unless we wanted to, because it is unnecessary. So to fully make sure that our text and code nodes don't affect our prompt unless we say so, we'll search for a conditioning zero out. And this does what the name kind of implies. It just makes sure that no data can be sent in, whether it be padding or anything like that. And we're going to go ahead and connect those in. And then since we aren't actually going to be using these in our current workflow, if we click the gray circle next to the name, we actually minimize them. So visually, there's less going on. Wonderful. All right, and then let's go ahead and connect everything else to our case sampler. Let's grab a latent image. Oop. And then because we are using SDXL, we can go ahead and change the values from 512 to 1024. We can also, I'll also change our batch size. That way we can see all the variety of the images that can be created. And then last, but certainly not least, is going to be our VAE decoder and our image preview. I'm going to move that over here. Perfect. And all that's left is QPrompt. And now keep in mind, we are creating 4 images, so it may take a little while longer, but that's okay. Perfect. So as we can see, ReVision AI takes a look at the art style and the subject and creates images that embody that without needing a text prompt from us. It's not exact, but more so the general vibe or soul of the image. And if we wanted to, just for kicks, we could try it with the prompt and a more complex image, like this one of Steve. Steve is a magical pharmacist for all members of the prominent Shadow Wizard Money Gang, and my personal favorite creation. Just don't tell my other creations that. And then from here, we're just going to go ahead and remove our conditioning zero out. And if we click delete on our keyboard, we're actually able to keep the edges intact in the connection. And so then we're just going to go ahead and add a prompt. And so I would like some fantasy animal characters. Magical. Oh, I spelled both of them wrong. Perfect. And then just click QPrompt. Again, 4 images can take a little while, but that's okay. Ooh. Yeah, I feel like I could definitely see these being in some sort of like fantasy game or movie or something. So that makes ReVision a great tool for character creation if you kind of just want to follow a similar vibe of an image. But that's just one image or an image plus a prompt. We can do this with 2 images as our prompt instead. So first, let's remove our text because we don't need it, so let's get it out of here. And then because we don't need any text, let's go ahead and bring back our 0, our conditioning 0 out, perfect. And then since you want to have 2 images, we're going to need to go ahead and have an extra load image, another clip vision encode, and another unclip conditioning. The easiest way is going to be to just click Control on your keyboard, hold it, and drag out your mouse. And then Control-C for copy, Control-V for paste. And then if we want to drag around this whole group, we'll go ahead and just click Shift and drag it around like so. Move that here. Kind of want to move this first. And this makes it really easy if you're reorganizing or moving around a bunch of nodes. And then while this is all highlighted, I'm going to go ahead and change the color as well. That way we know which one belongs to image A or image B. Now we're going to go ahead and connect our clip vision, there you go, our clip vision together. And then I want to make sure both of our images are taken in as our positive prompt and are taken in correctly by the case sampler. So to do that, we just need to chain them together to make sure both are inputted. I'm going to move that back over here. And let's move our preview image back down, kind of like seeing them all lined up. And then we can go ahead and choose what image we want to upload and combine. So I want a village, but I want it to be fun and colorful and visually interesting. Let's combine it with the vibe of this one. And that's really it. I'm going to go ahead and change the batch back down to 1 though. And let's see what we get. Nice. But I think I want more colors in it. So to do that, I can go ahead and actually just lower the strength down. Let's try 0.9. And I'm going to go ahead and actually adjust our steps and key prompt. Much better. This is honestly beautiful. This is what makes ReVision one of my favorite Stable Diffusion tools, because it's so nice to just be able to copy over a similar vibe or just combine things together to make some really beautiful and fun images. I hope now you feel equipped to mess around with it and use it for yourself. My name is Alyssa, and don't forget to like and subscribe for AI Simplified with the help of Compute Grid.